Mavericks got to get a win tonight as they take on the shorthanded New Orleans Pelicans. We'll tell you how they can get it done coming up next on the DLLS Mavs pregame show. Welcome to the DLLS Mavs pregame show powered by Michelob Ultra. Cheer on your team with Michelob Ultra at 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's a superior smooth taste worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, official beer sponsor of the NBA. Kevin Gray alongside our DLLS Mavs analyst, Bobby Corella. We are DLLS Mavs, your favorite guys, covering your favorite team, even when they're off to a 2-5 starting to take on the New Orleans Pelicans, which they do tonight at the American Airlines Center. We'll get you ready for tonight's game over the course of the next half hour. Let you know who's in, who's out. If the Mavericks have some shame, Bobby Corella, and we focus in on our Mavericks player spotlight featuring one Paul Jermaine Washington Jr. on this wonderful Wednesday. How are we?
Doing pretty good. I'm trying not to waste all of my vocal cords before the first ever solo watch along in DLLS sports history tonight. We got a remote setup. We got a remote setup set up right over there.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Hope you tune in. Kevin is going to be just hanging out at the arena. Ron's just going to be hanging out at the arena.
I mean, you could have come to the arena
Mark
too.
Stein fled the town. He's not even here. I have no idea where Mark is. Tanner doesn't want to be on camera. So,
it's not true. I was on camera Saturday.
That's right.
true.
You did make an appearance on Saturday.
Probably won't do a whole entire
not red-handed
show.
lying. We will be doing a watch along for this game tonight, and I'm very excited for that.
That's right. We got
we only pull out the watch alongs for the marquee matchups, Kevin.
Well, tonight must be a marquee matchup then. As the two teams at the bottom, unfortunately, of the Western Conference standings get together tonight as your Dallas Mavericks take on the streaking, not really, New Orleans Pelicans at tip-off with 7:30 p.m. being the tip-off tonight. You can watch the game on KFAA Channel 29 if you're going to be watching tonight's game. Mavericks, of course, take on a Pelicans team that got their first win of the season last night. They're 1-6 coming into tonight. Are New Orleans at 0-4 on the road. Meanwhile, your Dallas Mavericks 2-5 overall on the year, 2-3 so far at the AAC. Mavericks come into tonight's game 8.5-point favorite at home with the over-under at 227.5. Let's get you set up where these teams are coming into tonight. We mentioned with the Mavericks 14th in the Western Conference at 2-5 on the year, coming off a loss on Monday night against the Houston Rockets, where, of course, they lost 110-102. Mavericks still looking for their first win against a Western Conference opponent so far this year when they take on the New Orleans Pelicans tonight. So far, 0-3 against the West with losses against the Spurs, the Thunder, and unfortunately the Houston Rockets on Monday. They're home tonight, but then they'll be on the road for a back-to-back starting on Friday when they take on the Memphis Grizzlies in their first NBA Cup game of the 2025 NBA season, and then they'll be in Washington in our nation's capital on Saturday. Meanwhile, the New Orleans Pelicans, they're on the second night of a back-to-back themselves. They got their first win last night at home against the Charlotte Hornets. No Zion Williamson, though, for the Pelicans. He's out the next 7 to 10 days with a left hamstring injury, so he won't be available tonight. Trey Murphy, with the 21 points that he had last night, was able to help the New Orleans Pelicans get a win, 116-112 over Charlotte. They're also looking for their first win over a Western Conference opponent so far this year. They begin a 3-game road trip tonight that begins in Dallas, of course, and then continues against the Spurs and the Suns on Saturday and then on Monday. That gives you a lay of the land of both of these teams coming into tonight's game, where, Bobby, offensive futility on the board for these two teams. Unfortunately, a matchup of the two worst offenses in the association today.
Yeah, and normally this is the part of the show where I give you just some incredibly insightful scouting report about the opposing team. We all know this. And I could prepare this thing about how Derek Queen is pretty active, rates pretty well as a deflector and as a shot blocker, steal guy,
And according to Joe Dudemar's the savior of the franchise with what he did trading that pick.
Potentially. And I could make note of the fact that bigs that play really active, guys like Wemby, obviously, but then even Alex Sarr and Jalen Duren really gave the Mavs problems whenever they played those guys in losses. But the scouting report tonight has nothing to do with the Wizards, the scouting or the Pelicans, or any team, or the Spurs. Mavs are playing the Pelicans tonight, but the scouting report is about the Mavs. I don't care who's in. I don't care who's out. You win this game. That's it. Pelicans are on the second night of a back-to-back. The Mavs are back home after a quick road trip. The last time they were at home, they held on for dear life to beat the Pacers in a game that they should have won by a lot. And they essentially, they kind of got lucky to win. Aaron Nesmith had a wide open three to win the game at the buzzer, and it missed by that much.
Mm-hmm.
The Mavs need to win this game. They are playing the first of a 5-game stretch in which they will play 4 teams that could be competing for ping pong balls in about 6 months. And if the Mavs don't want to be one of those teams competing for ping pong balls, they're going to win most, if not all, of those 4 games. And it starts tonight against a team, again, on the second night of a back-to-back, missing Zion, playing in your gym where you should be the better team. Again, it doesn't matter who's in and who's out. You go out, you play active, you play hard, you play strong, you play fast, you play smart, and you beat those guys' brains in, metaphorically speaking, and you take care of business at home. That is my scouting report.
And a good one, because the Mavericks have no excuse taking on a Pelicans team that's got 1 win on the season and extremely shorthanded themselves. This is tonight, though, a matchup of 2 of the most atrocious offenses that you'll watch in the association currently through the first couple of weeks of the season. Mavericks, of course, last in offensive rating at 103.6. Pelicans, 4th worst offensive rating in the association, coming to tonight at 107.9. Mavericks on a 2-game losing streak have already had 5 games this season with an offensive rating sub 100. Meanwhile, the Pelicans come into tonight 2nd worst overall net rating in the association at a minus 14.5. So something, boys and girls, got to give tonight. Somebody got to put the damn ball in the basket tonight in order to win tonight's game. If you believe in what the Mavericks defense has done over the last couple of games, you feel like they're moving in the right direction to be able to hold down a team in the Pelicans who has trouble scoring the basketball themselves and are going to be missing several key players going into tonight's game. The Pelicans are going to be led by Trey Murphy III, who's averaging so far this year 15.5 points per game and 6 rebounds per contest. Rookie Jeremiah Fears out of Oklahoma, averaging 13.3 points per game and a little over 3 assists per contest, and giving you nearly 1.5 steals per game as well. Jordan Poole, not available tonight, came into tonight averaging 17 points per game, but he will not be available. Mavericks going to be led by P.J. Washington, of course, averaging nearly 16 points per game and over 8 rebounds per contest in his first 7 games. D'Angelo Russell taking care of the assist department so far this year, averaging 13.6 points per game, giving you 6 assists per contest so far this year. Cooper Flagg averaging just a shade under 14 points so far in his first 7 professional games and giving you over 6 rebounds per contest. We mentioned the Mavericks and Pelicans taking on each other tonight. This is the first of what is 4 matchups so far this year. The next matchup will come in 16 days on November 21st, right back here in Dallas, as the Mavericks will be playing an NBA Cup game against the New Orleans Pelicans. Remember, as part of their group, the
Cup is coming home, baby.
I mean,
the Cup is coming home.
Could you imagine if the Mavericks make a magical run to Vegas, and guess who's going back out to Vegas?
It wouldn't be magical, Kevin. It would be expected.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I wish Tanner who had the camera on him tonight, because he's not feeling what you got to talk about right now. But could you imagine, though, the Mavericks having us go back out to Vegas one more time before the end of the calendar year to see the NBA Cup semifinals?
You got to play the games. Got to win the games.
And that NBA Cup,
we want that cup.
There's a nice little prize. Each player this year,
cup would fit really nicely right here, right above the Michelob Ultra bucket.
I mean, it is a pretty dope looking trophy. I'm not gonna lie to you. When we saw it at Summer League, it was very shiny, very big, and very nice. Each player this year, $530,000 on the line for each player. If
they should let us split that money instead.
The winning players on the NBA Cup champion team this year, $530,000 split for every player on the winning NBA Cup team. Lanissa with the $2 super chat. Shout out to you.
At first, I thought you were like giving me a compliment, and I was like, "Wait, how do you know what my stomach looks like?" And also, unfortunately, you're wrong. I don't have a 6-pack, but I do have a 6-pack of Michelob Ultra.
You do. You got 4 of them sitting right here in front of you.
5. There's one right.
Oh, there's another one inside there. So you got 5.
And then I got one on the desk, and we got about 20 more in the fridge. We're ready to party, man. Let's go.
Win, lose, or can't draw in the NBA. So win or lose. Of course, Bible has some. But yes, with the $2 super chat, Bobby has a 6-pack ready. If we don't pull the win, he'll have it ready regardless. Honestly,
absolutely. And then these are like the Mavs defense has, despite all of the grief that we've given their offense, and that it's been considerable amount of grief, and it has all been warranted. The Mavs defense these last few games have put them in a position where they can win.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, at baseline, the most you could ask of any team's defense is just give us a chance to win. Now, the best defenses are going to give you a really good chance to win. And the Mavs they've had some games where they played really good defense, but for the most part, even in some of their weaker games, their defense has been all right, excluding that Spurs game. That was a complete disaster that has been wiped from my memory completely. But the Mavs are now at a position where their offense has to be good enough to give them a chance to win. And that is a problem that this franchise has really never had. Like at any point in its history outside of the early 90s, whenever everything associated with this organization was completely awful, the offense just has to be respectable.
Sure.
The turnover rate has to be respectable. The offensive rebounding rate, the Mavs are dead last in offensive rebound percentage. That is unacceptable for a team that is as big as they are. Again, I don't care that Daniel Gafford is out. You still got Lively. Now that Lively's out, Gafford's back. Now that 80's out, you still have PJ and Cooper Flagg and Musa Cisse and the GOAT, Dwight Powell. Get some freaking rebounds, dude. Your whole identity is built on being big and being fast, so get out and run. The transition offense should be better. The transition defense should be better. Like, these are things that are perfectly under your control that against a really lousy team like the one you're playing tonight, you should improve in all of those areas tonight.
And get a win for sure. Blue Tortoise Sports with the $4.99 super chat. Who's getting a new career high today, fellas?
Derek Queen is licking his chops, baby.
Jeremiah Fears might have something to say about that.
Good. Honestly, you might be right. We might both be right.
We might both be right. Unfortunately, we might both be right. Given the way that guys have gone career on the Mavericks so far. Jalen Duren went for 31 in the game in Mexico City. Keyshawn George went for 34 for the Washington Wizards, where the Mavericks will see them in our nation's capital on Saturday. So they'll get more Keyshawn George action so far this year. So who knows? Tune in to find out. You can watch the game on KFAA Channel 29 with tip-off at 7:30, or as Tanner and I like to say, around 7:40, 7:45, something like that, because we know how NBA games start. Coming up here in just a moment, we'll welcome in our DLLS Mavs beat writer Ron Harrod Jr. live from the American Airlines Center to get his perspective on what Jason Kidd had to say prior to tonight's game. We'll let you know who's in, who's out, and I'll make Bobby mad once again with the starting lineup for tonight's game.
No, you won't. Tonight, everything changes.
Sure.
Everything changes.
Sure. And we'll also let you focus in on our Mavericks player spotlight when it comes to PJ Washington. $2 super chat at the buzzer. Bothering Bobby got to turn into beer belly Bobby.
That's right. If they lose tonight, stop it. I'm going to get one of those hats with the straws, and I'm just going to be just steady drinking, steady sipping responsibly.
Shout out to Shahid with the $2 super chat. Let's help you win some money when it comes to prize picks today.
My prize pick of the night, Kevin. Derek Queen is going to have a good game. That's my prize picks. I think Derek Queen is going to score more than 7.5 points. Now, again, on prize picks, they got the little slider thing with the devil smiley, the green to red. I'm sliding everything down tonight. I'm trying to win some money tonight, but Derek Queen more than 7.5 points and Derek Queen more than 4.5 rebounds on prize picks. Of course, you can stack, so you can make multiple picks with the same player, which is pretty cool. I also think Daniel Gafford going to get more than 8.5 points. The Pelicans are one of the worst defensive rebounding teams in the league, so I think Gafford is going to get a lot of putback opportunities. And then D'Lo has been pretty consistent with his assist generation. I think he's going to get more than 4.5 assists tonight. If all 4 of those picks hit, then I will take home on a $5 play. I will take home $13. That $5 number is important because if you download the Prize Picks app today and use code DLLS, when making a $5 deposit, you will be instantly gifted, magically gifted $50 in free plays to your account that you can use anytime you like. It is a whole lot of fun. On Prize Picks, it is good to be right.
Appreciate all of you hanging out with us here on our DLLS Mavs pregame show. Don't forget, we have a special watch-along tonight. Our guy, Bobby Curley, going to be turning back the clock tonight. Solo watch-along for our guy, as you will be watching the game through the lens of our guy, Bobby Carell. The Carellustrator Scouting Report. Actually, you know what? We're going to call it the Carellustrator Watch-Along. Is what we're going to dub it tonight. The Carellustrator Watch-Along as the Mavericks take on the Pelicans at the AAC. So once
needed to bring down because like I did it to where my pinkies were perfectly in a spot where you couldn't really see them, so it looked like I was flipping the double bird.
Oh wow!
But I wasn't. I was doing like the Rock.
Yeah, because that would be really rude if you
did just that. Flipping everyone off, baby.
That's right. So
watch this.
Once this pregame show is over with, hop out and then hop back in with us here at DLL Sports and tune in with our guy Bobby Carella, the Carellustrator watch along for tonight as the Mavericks host the New Orleans Pelicans. Let's go out to the American Airlines Center right now. Welcome in our DLLS Mavs beat writer. He knows sports. His name is Ron Harrod Jr. Ron, what's going on?
Hey, fellas, how are you all doing?
Pretty good, Ron. How are you?
Doing pretty good. Hopefully the Mavs can they win today. I'm feeling a win.
Okay, that's good. I like the vibe because I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna be completely 100 with you. I was talking to Tanner before the pregame show. I didn't like my vibe. I didn't like the vibe, man. Najee spoke with us, at pregame today. Wasn't feeling the whole vibe. Like Jason Kidd, listened to him talk, from his pregame. Vibe didn't feel great. So I'm glad you're feeling a little bit better about the vibe.
Was played. We got a little Drake Marvin's Room. The Take Care album is probably Drake's saddest album. They were
that's not helping.
The shit around.
That's not helping.
Yeah, not great.
Yeah.
But PJ Washington was banging some NBA YoungBoy. And Caleb Martin, I asked, I'm like, is this you playing this Caleb or is this PJ? He's like, I'm pretty sure that's PJ, man. It's not me. I'm like, okay. Because every time they're both in the court, it's a bunch of PJ Washington. And I saw PJ rapping a couple of songs. So I'm like, okay, he's in his bag. So it seems like it's where when they're warming up on the court, that's where they start to get hype, is what it seems like. We got a little bit, I guess Klay Thompson's requesting a little Uzi. I'm just paying, this is stuff that I pay attention to, the weird stuff at the stadium. So I think the vibes are feeling a little bit better.
I do know enough about NBA YoungBoy to, first off, not be surprised that PJ is a big YoungBoy fan, but also I kind of know what that means. What is like the?
Please explain.
Well, what is like the for Klay to be listening? You said he's listening to Lil Uzi. What does that say about Klay?
I'm be honest. I was very surprised at that. And I was like, wow, because he was like in his bag too. Like he was rapping it, like not dancing, but like kind of, grooving a little bit. I think that probably says he's an artist.
Okay.
And based on, Klay Thompson, I think has probably the most beautiful, jump shot form in maybe NBA history. So maybe all of that, is art to Klay Thompson. I think he's talked about movement off ball. Him and kind of Steph Curry talk about how that's like their art. So maybe that's where he gets that from.
Shahid, you need to chill out. Chill out. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. You need to chill out. Chill out, my guy. This ain't the Cowboys show. This ain't DLLS Cowboys. Chill out. You don't see Chill sitting on this set. I need you to chill.
What did he ask? Somebody.
Don't worry about it. We'll talk about it later. Shahid know what I'm talking about. You need to relax. Relax in the chat.
I officially cannot give a comment about that comment, but it is funny.
It's hilarious. Like,
I specifically cannot.
Okay.
You cannot.
Yeah.
You absolutely cannot. Ron and I will talk about it later. Let's get you and let you know who's in and who's out in tonight's game. We start with the visiting New Orleans Pelicans. Zion Williamson, surprise, surprise, boys and girls, not available tonight as he is out with a left hamstring injury. Pelicans saying he's out the next 7 to 10 days with that hamstring injury. So we'll see what he will look like potentially in a couple of weeks when the Mavericks take on the Pelicans again on November 21st. Jordan Poole, he's out tonight with left knee soreness. DeJounte Murray continues to be out as he recovers from that right Achilles tear that he suffered. And Yves Missi is out tonight. He's dealing, unfortunately, with illness. The Mavericks will be without Anthony Davis for the third straight game with the left calf strain. Derek Lively, the second. He's going to miss his fifth straight game with that right knee sprain. We'll get to what Jason Kidd had to say about that here in just a second. Kyrie Irving and, of course, Dante Exum with his right knee injury management continues to remain out. What did Jason Kidd have to say, though, Ron, about the statuses of Anthony Davis and Derek Lively ahead of tonight's game?
Well, Coach Kidd was a little bit more forthcoming today. Usually he doesn't get into injuries like at all. That's kind of like his thing. He usually doesn't tell you anything. But for Derek Lively, again, unprovoked, when he gave his injury update, he said, Derek Lively talked about the injury and he said he's hopefully back by next week. So that's a small 7-day-ish timeline. Not an exact number of days, but a week. So we'll see how Derek Lively looks in about 7 days. And then for Anthony Davis, he said he is ramping up on the court in his day-to-day. For Daniel Gafford, it looks like he'll be still staying with the minutes restriction, even though he went over that minutes restriction against the Rockets. So I guess we'll see how they manage that tonight against a team that is out some bigs.
So Gafford remains on the 15 to 18-minute restriction. How do you feel about that going into tonight's game where, Mavericks got to be big against the small Pelicans?
Yeah, I mean, Cisse I thought looked pretty good. A little clumsy at times, but Houston that's a tough team to make basically your NBA debut against. Şengün looks for contact. Hopefully content too.
We gotta stop.
Kevin?
We gotta stop.
Kevin.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Kevin is about to have to apologize. To Bob.
Well, hey, I don't need to apologize. This is what I've been wanting.
No, but you said it would never
I didn't
happen.
think it would happen.
Big changes.
The starting lineup is out.
D'Lo.
D'Angelo Russell is starting.
Oh, okay.
Max Christie is starting.
Go ahead. Tell me how right I was, Kevin Gray.
Cooper Flagg is starting.
Oh my God. What?
PJ Washington is starting.
What?
Daniel Gafford started. That means
What?
Klay Thompson is coming off the bench tonight against the New Orleans Pelicans. So you're starting
Praise,
five.
Bobby, praise.
Praise. Wow. So D'Angelo Russell, Max Christie, Cooper Flagg, PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford get the start
somebody
tonight.
clip that, please.
We did it.
I mean, I didn't think it was going to happen.
IKB.
You do. You definitely do.
And that also means I
what's
don't have
crazy?
to buy us dinner.
That's right. That's the most important part.
I'm going to buy us dinner one day this weekend just because I'm feeling so good right now.
I'm not going to lie. I'm shocked
I love
because
that. I do love that.
Ron and I were right there standing next to each other when Jason Kidd looked us in the
Right.
face and said that this Cooper Flagg, point guard experiment is going to continue until this team is healthy. Those were the words out of the head coach's mouth. Well, he changed them tonight because
Mavs are going to win by 35 tonight.
the vibe feels all of a sudden much, much better. D'Angelo Russell, as much as it can, he's going to be the starting point guard tonight. So there you go.
One thing I do want to say is I did make a video that is on the YouTube channel in our shorts. Please check it out after the live show.
You
And
did.
I maybe said that this should be the exact lineup just for now. Until Kyrie's back, until they figure some other things out. Well, I said it's not like, Clay was probably going to play around the same minutes. It's not like his minute changed significantly. I think the Dallas News reporter Mike Curtis said I think he hasn't played 25 minutes in a game this season, or he definitely hasn't played 30 in a game this season. So he's not really playing quote unquote starter minutes. So I think this change just shows, hey, let's get some more speed, let's get some more juice. And to be honest, right now, let's get some more shooting into the starting lineup. He's not hitting threes. Like Max Christie's hitting threes. D'Lo, it depends the game. I'll say that nicely. It depends.
Yeah, well,
it depends.
J-Kidd has done this many times before. Again with JaVale McGee, I think it was in their seventh game that J-Kidd went away from him in the starting lineup, and so J-Kidd will give you half a dozen games or so. Now, Max isn't going to shoot 50%. Clay's not going to shoot 25% for the rest of the season. If those numbers flip, I guarantee you they'll consider a lineup change. If the Mavs get smoked tonight, I guarantee you things will constantly be changing. But this is the right decision at this moment. This is absolutely the correct decision based on the way the season's gone so far.
Max Christie has earned it. I mean, he has earned the right
and so
to
has
be.
D'Lo, both of them.
Yeah, and D'Angelo Russell the same.
For
He's earned the right to be in the starting lineup. So I'm very interested to see and hear how that conversation. I don't know if we'll ever find out, but I'm very interested to hear how that conversation went between Jason Kidd and Klay Thompson. As far as
where's Mark Stein when you need him?
Well,
I know.
not here.
No, he's tweeting. He's tweeting. I'm looking at his Twitter. He's tweeting. But I do want to say in the pregame, I had asked a question about I just asked it generally like how do you know who to close with? There's been a lot of players that have tried closing for the Mavericks this season, and two players that Jason Kidd named were D'Angelo Russell and Brandon Williams. I didn't even ask about them specifically, but he talked about, hey, we do have 2 point guards, and he named Brandon Williams and D'Angelo Russell. And then Mike Curtis also asked just about is Klay Thompson on a minutes restriction because he doesn't play starter minutes. He said, no, he's not in a minutes restriction. They're just trying to kind of get him going. So he might have gave us some tea leaves in the pregame, but I guess I wasn't smart enough to connect the dots, everybody. Sorry.
And shout out to Camilla, who's in the chat, says maybe Klay suggested to come off the bench. Who knows? That may have been a conversation as well, but that is the starting.
To tie it back to what Ja's perceived, what is thought to be Ja's complaint with the Grizzlies, is that he's playing very short stints. It's kind of, he says it's hard for him to get a rhythm. If Klay's playing 4 minutes at a time before getting yanked, maybe he is like, dude, you need to play me for 7-8 minutes at a time. And J Kidd is like, I don't want to play you. You're not going to start and play 7 minutes. You can come off the bench and play 7 minutes. Like maybe that could actually have been a conversation for sure.
There you go. So that is the changes in the starting lineup tonight. D'Angelo Russell, Max Christie, Cooper Flagg, P.J. Washington, and Daniel Gafford, your starting 5 tonight for your Dallas Mavericks. A bit of intrigue for the Corel Illustrated watch-along to follow tonight as the Mavericks take on the Pelicans.
It is November 2023, and you're told that is going to be the Mavs starting lineup one day. What are your thoughts?
I can't cuss on this show, so we won't do. Let's get to our Mavericks players spotlight and focus in on the aforementioned Paul Jermaine Washington Jr., who so far has been doing a little bit of everything for the Mavericks this season, averaging nearly 16 points per game, giving you over 8 rebounds per contest, nearly 3 assists per game as well, shooting nearly 47% from the field. Not great from 3, but giving you 1.3 blocks per game and nearly a steal per contest. Attacked the zone really well against the Houston Rockets on Monday to the tune of 29 points. Also had what was a couple of blocks, or 2 steals and a block shot as well, playing nearly 36 minutes. Bobby, so far this year, P.J. Washington averaging 34 minutes a contest this season for Dallas. He has been probably the most consistent Maverick, and also he is getting a lot of run given what they're asking him to do so far this year.
Yeah, he's been really good. He's aggressive, looks to get a shot off, is completely locked in on defense, chasing guys down in transition, running the floor. There are many nights where it looks like he is playing with way more energy than anyone else on the team. Mm-hmm. And on the one hand, that's very bad because we want everyone to be playing with that kind of level of force. But on the other hand, hats off to PJ, dude.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if they're good, if they're bad, if they're great, if they suck. That dude is going to play his ass off every night, and I can respect that.
And he has done so far this year. That gets us to our X Factors quickly before we get out of here for our pregame show. Ron, we'll start with you on this one. The Mavericks got to punish the Pelicans in the paint tonight. The Pelicans giving up 54 points per game in the painted area. That's 7th worst in the league. I know Gafford's going to be on a minutes restriction, but they got to find a way to get some easy offense and to do so in the painted area because the Pelicans like to give it up in the paint.
Yeah, I mean, the Pelicans aren't a huge rim protecting team, which is probably why they signed DeAndre Jordan. And at this point in 2025, if you're kind of signing DeAndre Jordan, kind of man in the middle, you're probably lacking a bunch of rim protection. I think, to my knowledge, Kevon Looney is a starter at center for the Pelicans because we can confirm. Okay, so Kevon Looney, he's not a great offensive rebounder. Never been a quote unquote elite rim protector. Yves Missi is out for this game, so out another big, that could possibly provide that. And, I think the Mavs are going to have to attack the paint this game. But the Pelicans do have a bunch of really good perimeter defenders and Jose Alvarado and Herb Jones and Trey Murphy III. If they can just get past that line of guys, they can have a lot of success getting over some of these guys, getting over some of their bigs who are mostly offensive players.
Herb Jones guarding Cooper Flagg will be a little fun to watch tonight. Herb Jones, one of the premier defenders.
They could put Alvarado on him too.
On
Coop, yeah. If he's bringing it up the floor. But if D'Lo's starting, then you're probably going to get D'Lo and Brandon Williams on the floor. One of them will be on the floor the whole game. So Alvarado will probably go bother those guys.
If you're the Mavericks, you got to get out and run in transition tonight against the Pelicans. They are giving up 18 points per game in the fast break, 6th worst in the league, to your point a little bit earlier. Get out and run on this team. Use your athleticism and punish the Pelicans in transition. That gets us to our last one. If you're the Mavericks, get off to a fast start tonight. So far this year, the Mavericks have actually had a lead after the first quarter in 4 of their 7 games. Gentlemen, would you like to take a guess at their record after leading in the first quarter this year?
1-3.
1-3.
Let's try 0-4.
What?
They have not won a game this year.
That
when
is
leading
impossible.
They did it. As the Mavericks are 0-4 when leading after the first quarter this year. So play a full 48 minutes tonight.
No, that means lose. Get behind. Get behind in the first quarter. They're 2-1 then, right?
Heads.
Whenever they trail.
The comeback heads, man.
Get off to a bad start. That's the key.
Let me tell you something. You better put belt to ass to these Pelicans tonight. Put them cats in Pelican Bay.
PTA.
Okay? That's what you need to do. That's what it needs to be. Exactly. That's what needs to happen tonight. Ron, appreciate the time, man. We will talk to you post-game here on DLLS Mavs, man. Appreciate the time.
All right. Bobby, put the paddle down.
Yeah,
I did. It just got it.
It's time for us to get out of here because the Corellustrator got to get ready for his watch-along tonight. After this pregame show is over with, hop out, hop back in for the Corellustrator watch-along as the Pelicans visit your Dallas Mavericks tonight. He will be breaking it all down tonight as the Mavericks look for their 3rd win of the season. Then we will have our post-game show right back here about 10, 15 minutes after the final buzzer of tonight's game. Appreciate our guy Tanner making us look good and sound good as always. Thank you, sir. That is our DLLS Mavs analyst, Bobby Curl. I'm your host, Kevin Gray. We are DLLS Mavs. We'll talk to you post-game. And the Corellustrator watch-along coming up next right here on DLLS Sports. Y'all be good. Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.